How do I even start the conversation with my wife about my porn addiction without completely breaking her heart or losing her trust?
Mm. And this will be a good one. I'm curious with your responses because I know this was an issue you had to navigate. So we're going to answer
Yeah.
these questions from two different lenses and perspectives. One as never being a married man, but one that has coached hundreds of married guys over the years. I'll have some insights, and then Arnold, married and had to navigate this with his wife, and has an incredibly supportive, strong woman in his life. So I think number one, accepting the reality that she probably already knows something is up. If you're at the point where you're asking this in depth of a question, chances are your wife knows something is going on. Like you're feeling the need to ask this question because you feel the disconnect in the relationship. You feel the disconnect in the intimacy. Maybe you're even experiencing the negative effects in the bedroom, not being present, not pursuing her. So chances are your wife probably already knows that something is up. That doesn't mean she knows the depth of the struggle that you're going through right now, because we know that porn addicts are really good at hiding things, right? So maybe you're good at hiding things, but you can't be good at hiding everything. So accept it that when you go to her to share, she already knows that something is off. You're probably asking this question as well because she's giving you hints, right? That, hey, like there's something off between the two of us. Here's what I tell a lot of men, right? Is no woman wants to have their husband come to them with big problems in their life and not have solutions. So I wouldn't advise you to just go run to your wife and tell her, hey, babe, I'm struggling with watching porn right now, and I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. I think that's going to create even more disrespect, more disengagement in her attractiveness to you. So a recommendation here is get a plan and approach and have, I would even say, some success under your boat. Hey, babe, you probably felt off for a little while. I think we both have felt that there's been something off inside of our relationships. There's this tension in the home. We don't talk like we used to. I know I haven't pursued you like I'm supposed to, right? You and that's on me, and you deserve way better than that. What I realized though over the last couple of months is a lot of the struggles in our relationship are rooted in my challenges and issues with porn that I've had for a long time. I've struggled with it for decades, babe. I've just woken up. I found this incredible podcast, The Rebuilt Man, and he shined a lot of insight and clarity on this issue with men all across the globe. What I realized though is I needed other people to help me, so I joined this community. I've now gone 6 weeks 100% free, and that's why I even feel comfortable and confident in having this conversation with you. So I think a couple takeaways, and I'd love to hear from you, Arnold, is know that she probably already knows something is off, right? And when you go to her, have a game plan of how you guys are going to conquer, how you're going to conquer your addiction, right? And you're going to change, and then what the pathway moving forward is. So what are the changes that you're going to make in the relationship? Now, moving forward, babe, I want to let you know I'm going to have brutal honesty in all areas of our life. I kept a lot of secrets from you, and you deserve a lot better. And I can understand you're probably hurt from that. Moving forward, there's 100% open and radical honesty between the two of us. You probably realize I haven't pursued you, but I want to remind you, you are the most beautiful woman in the world. I've allowed things to get control over me that never should have. But here's our plan moving forward: weekly date nights, time together here at home. So just a couple things, but I think the key is knowing that she probably is already aware that something is off, and then don't go to her with problems without having some type of solution moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. No, obviously, like you said, I have personal experience with this very situation. And I also, from other stories I've heard, it's very similar. It's like almost like there's a one right way to do this. And that is to just do it, because there is no easy
Mm,
way. You have to come clean, right? You
yeah.
have to just completely radical honesty. And unfortunately, and my wife said this as well, it will break her heart and she will lose trust in that moment, right? But that's something for her to overcome and work through. I'm not saying that as an it's on you now, but you cannot hold back. You have to be honest, right? Because if you are holding back your honesty because you're afraid of her feelings, you're still not honest. And that still creates and also women are extremely intuitive. They might know that you have this problem before you know you have this problem. By the time you kind of figure out what's going on, she'll be like, I knew it. When you confess
Mhm.
to her, she's not going to be shocked, right? As you are. Like you'll be like, oh my God, I discovered. And she's like, yeah, I knew something's off. I just didn't know what it was, which is why you hear a lot less women say when the man wants to divorce, like, I did not see this coming. It's a lot more men who say, I didn't, came out of nowhere because the lack of awareness. They're way
Mhm.
more aware and way more plugged into these things. So it's just like a band-aid, rip it off. You have to have that conversation. There is no easy way. And that's part of the problem. We always want to have our cake and eat it too. And sometimes that's not possible. You have to have the difficult conversations. And the earlier you have it, and the more you let out all at once, the easier things get put back together. But if you only trickle it out, you prolong this painful period of time when you're constantly gonna break her heart and hurt her. Just let it all out at once and come clean, and then focus on repairing. Um, and going back in time, if my wife would say something, or if she were to go back, she would say this: that just there's no easy way to do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
And breaking the heart, right? The heart's a muscle, and it becomes stronger like any other muscle, right? You tear it, and it grows back together stronger, like you're tearing the muscle fibers. It might be a workout analogy, but it actually applies. Like that's how the heart becomes, and this is like science
Mhm.
too. It's proven that the more the more heartbreaks it goes to, the stronger it gets, more resilient, and the trust returns because of the honesty part. We are so focused on the hurt that we want to withheld the hurt, but actually, if we let the honesty out, the hurt happens, trust will return, because trust comes hand in hand with honesty, right?
Yeah.
And the
So
trust leads.
the expectation for the guy asking this question, anybody out there that is, maybe going to go through something similar, should they expect it to get worse before it gets better? Right? Symbolism within the rebuilt man is like there's a death and resurrection, right? There's going to be a
Yeah,
period of pain and suffering that you got to go through in order to be truly rebuilt. And I think what you're saying is a lot of guys want to bypass that, right?
yeah,
It's a cake and eat it too. I want to skip through the difficult part and get
right.
to the end destination. I want to live in this fantasy, everything is happy without having to actually go through a lot of the suffering. I've seen it with a lot of guys. It's like there's a period where there's no trust in the wife. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of shit that
Yeah.
the guy's got to go through in order to truly rebuild and restore that marriage. So what is that expectation? Like once you begin to have these conversations, you begin to work through this together.
Well, people who struggle with porn have a lot of wrong expectations when it comes to things about this, including what happens after you stop, or what happens after uh, you just have to be realistic that this is going to be a difficult conversation, and
Mm-hmm.
don't try to downplay it or upplay it. Just expect it for it to be what it's going to be,
Yeah.
because I think that's the biggest mistake. We, in our fantasy mind, we make stuff up in different ways than it really is,
Mm-hmm.
and that creates a lot of times fear that's based on something that's not even real. And it might not be as bad, because women are appreciative of honesty. They the problem, whatever you have, is something that she can handle. What hurts her more is you lying about it. So if you come to her with
Mm-hmm.
a problem and say, this is what I'm struggling with, and you're being 100% honest, you'll be surprised the support you'll get from her, right?
Yeah.
And that's the fear that men create in their minds, that's not real. because you are afraid of, because like I always tell them, like, have you tried? I don't know if she's gonna be like, but have you tried? Have you tell her, did she did that in the past when you told her something? I'm like,
Hmm.
well, no. And that's like a nice guy thing, right? Glover talks about that in the book, about how, you are afraid of people's feelings. You want to like cater them, but you don't even know, like, she's stronger than you are in many ways, right?
Hmm.
So it's just rip the band-aid off and come
Yeah.
clean. Radical honesty, it's the only way to getting out of this rut. It's the only way. And we know that.
Hmm.
Like, honesty, you have to be honest with yourself first, and then with everybody involved with you emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we covered that one pretty well and in depth.